Okay, it says we're connected. What is YouTube saying? Receiving the content. That's always good. All right, we are officially live. Welcome, everyone, to another edition of the 4GwQPodcast podcast. This is episode 187 for October 25th, 2018, the day before Red Dead Redemption 2. The eve of that release. I guess it's going live later tonight, I heard, through the grapevine. So we'll definitely be on that a little bit later. But for now, we're doing a podcast. We'll talk about that for a little bit, of course. And we've got a bunch of other good topics tonight. So let's try to get into it as soon as possible. Before we do, I want to introduce everyone on the panel. I am, of course, Inferno217, and joining us this week in our guest chair, we've got another Lord of the Realm, one of the members of the Iron Lord podcast. We've got Lord King, a man that I met a few times, and if his picture right now doesn't do him any justice. This man is a man amongst men. This guy is massive, dude. I saw this guy for the first time. He's standing next to Cognito. I'm like, Jesus, this is a difference right here. You got Cognito, a little below my height. You got King all the way up here, and I'm like, damn, holy shit, this is a man right there. So glad to have you on, man. Glad to have another member of the round table on. So welcome.
Welcome. Thank you. Appreciate it. I know everybody individually, and like I said, like you said, I met you already. So, what was that? That was PAX, or was that E3?
E3 first, then PAX
Right.
This year as well. Saw you guys at.
Oh yeah, so we did it in reverse. We did it at E3 first, and then it was like PAX with the crappy food at PAX, right?
Oh my god, dude. Always awful, always awful. But that was a good show. It's a different pace from E3. I thought you guys would like it. Like when I heard you guys were going, I was like, it's gonna be a lot different than E3. So get ready. And I thought, you guys repped it hard. I thought you guys got some good interviews out of that and stuff. So you guys did a pretty good job.
I wasn't as prepared for the more one-on-one that you are able to get at PAX. I know this year we'll be a whole lot more prepared because we're gonna have like 3 teams actually that's gonna be in there because we want to hit that place hard. But it's a better environment for video games and to get that interview with the developer and to talk to them right there to get that engagement. So E3 is a whole lot more hectic, is a different thing, but that animal it's 2 different animals. But yeah, you were right. PAX is a whole lot better as far as the intimacy goes.
Oh my god, yeah. It's like the first year I went, I was blown away by it too, and I was like, dude, I need to get some interviews. So I went back the next day with some recording equipment, and I just like you said, I mean, the intimacy is there, so you can just walk up to somebody and be like, listen, I played your game yesterday. I do a podcast. I love this game. Can I just get a quick interview with you? And they're like, happier than a pig in shit for that. You know what I mean? They just want to go in on that, and they take it like it's, even some of the, bigger indies, so to speak, they're happy to speak to anyone. And I think that's awesome about that show,
Yeah, a lot of times you see, we saw a lot of the shareholders that were actually there, and I'm like, wow, that part blew me away because such a high level person to come down and to see at a base level of the game, to see the interaction with the crowd, to see the reaction from the crowd, how it's going to go with the crowd, a smaller crowd. And a lot of games, we actually pre-ordered a ton of games, even though we got review copies of these games that still show that support for these games because the enthusiasm is exactly there. And I'm still waiting for a couple of games that I have on my list to come out so I can actually play them.
Absolutely. Yeah, it really is a good show, and I hope to get the next man I'm about to introduce out there at some point, making his 187th straight appearance. It's ZBCI Assassin. What's going on, man? Is he not there? Is he gone again? Did he disconnect again? All right, well,
he's frozen.
Oh my god, he's frozen in time right now. Well, we'll get him back in a second. Maybe he won't be making his 187th straight appearance. Anyway, last but not least, we've got another man who has been to PAX East and braved the elements a couple years ago, and it was like -4 in Boston. He's from Florida, so it was really tough for him. We got Italian Clowns. What's going on, bud?
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Nothing much, man. We got some interesting topics here tonight, and we got
I like that.
Oh, okay. The Clown Deadpool. All right, that's very appropriate. Yep. Very appropriate. Dude, those movies, man.
Like that.
Those movies are hot, dude. I still got to get those on 4K. Oh, man,
I don't know. Those are like one-offs for me.
Really?
And being that you bring out little guys, I'm going to bring my little guy as well.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Well, I got to keep him quiet because that little guy talks. Yeah. I don't know. I can't watch those Deadpool movies more than once. I don't know. I don't know. So it's something about them.
I like them because, dude, I think they're like some of the best movies in 4K. You know, with all the action, especially that first one, like with all the fire and that scene. You know, where he gets burnt up. Spoilers, sorry. But that scene looks really good if you have a nice HDR set on the 4K disc, like that. You know, that's what it really is for me. It's just eye candy at this point. But I agree with you. It's kind of like, you know, once you see it maybe once or twice, it's kind of like, okay, well. It's not like one of the iconic Marvel movies where you just gotta, you know, watch that once a year or some shit.
Please, I get razzed all the time for liking Age of Ultron.
Oh, dude, I like that one. I like that one.
One of the best ones.
Yeah, that one's good.
Yeah. I love it. I don't know.
Yeah, dude, it's good.
Clowns. I guess we didn't have to save Toys R Us. We've been bamboozled, brother.
Yeah, I heard a lot of employees are upset because allegedly, even though Toys R Us claims they got severance, they're coming out saying, no, we never got anything. And Toys R Us Canada has been operating this whole time.
They didn't get severance.
Yeah, Toys R Us.
They got terminated.
Yeah,
yeah,
please. Oh, who's gonna even believe that Toys R Us employees are getting severance pay? Like, come on.
Well,
I don't mean to laugh.
Yeah, no, it's not. I mean, it's kind of sad, but like, Jesus, man, come on.
It's just the concept of it. That's not gonna happen.
Yeah. Well, they told the courts that, and the employees were upset. They're like, "Oh, we haven't gotten anything. We just got this thing that says goodbye. You know, the store's closed."
Clowns, you looking forward to that shit making a comeback or what?
You know, I gotta be honest. I gotta see if it's gonna be brought back with the same care and magic as the original Toys R Us, with the same founders' ideas. You know, if it's gonna be like all corporate stock Walmart kind of thing, you know, it's gonna be disappointing to me. But I still might hug Jeffrey the Giraffe.
Is Jeffrey gonna make a comeback though? Is that like part of the resurgence plan?
They still own the trademark on Jeffrey the Giraffe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He said we are back, or something like that, of that nature. What they should do is, only in the major metropolises have one store, right? And have it completely Amazon. Or use Amazon as the affiliate to distribute Toys R Us toys. All right, so you can use their stock, their warehouses, and you know you can pack out the toys and use it as an affiliate, and have only in the major metropolises those big stores, like have it like a giant KB toy store or something like that, like a small amusement park type of store, like it is an event store, opposed to it being scattered all over the place where you're gonna lose a ton of money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They got a big box for something like that doesn't work anymore, I feel. I mean,
you know, I gotta tell you a story while we're trying to get Assassin back in here.
Please.
Since you mentioned KB's toys, you remember, you know, they had all those like Marvel figures from Toy Biz back in the day. Do you remember that? They had like aisles and aisles of them. So me and my dad, we went to KB and we bought like every single in Toys R Us and the trucks that came in after midnight and KB stores. Like we cleared out every single X-Men Marvel figure that you could buy back then from Toy Biz. And not that long ago, I want to say maybe like four or 5 years ago, they did the Toys for Tots with the Marines out here. And I kind of felt bad, you know, like I was like, okay, you know, I got this whole collection in cases never opened that I'm not going to do anything with. I'll donate Toys for Tots. Maybe some, you know, X-Men fans out there would appreciate it. So I donated it. Year and a half later at my employer's location, they had like pictures with Santa and Toys for Tots, right? And all those figures I donated were hanging up in the wall from the Toys for Tots Corporation. They never gave them out. They just held on to them.
Oh my God.
Like the whole collection. I was like, wow.
That's bad.
I was disappointed.
That's bad, yeah. That's really bad.
That's horrid. That's
I
a
know.
horrid story.
It was so hard to part with all that, man. And I thought I was doing a good thing.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
But then I thought about maybe like
my head, right?
Was that
when you said you was gonna donate that stuff? In my head was saying, "Hell no!"
Wow.
In my head, I was like, "Buy them a toy. Don't do it."
Yeah, I had that clear Iceman that was rare when that came out. I had Juggernaut. Oh man, I miss Juggernaut.
Man, if we had if I know we was gonna have this topic, I'd have showed you some of my my hidden treasure trove of stuff. Yeah, I'm a weirdo like that.
Clowns just brought that in off the cuff, but sometimes Clowns likes to reminisce. When he was on your show, you guys reminisce for like 45 minutes, I feel, at the beginning.
Hell yeah, man.
Iron Lords, I remember that.
Yeah, like that game, Taking It to the Hoop, man. That was a good game.
Oh my god, yeah. Dude, I remember on
I remember him talking about his pops and his pops hooking him up with the stuff.
Oh,
man, listen, I know.
Oh yeah,
fell off the back of the truck. I don't know.
Back in the day when we used to go to Brooklyn to visit some of my dad's friends, like he would come in at like 2:00 in the morning with all these like boxes and boxes of Topps cards and Upper Deck cards.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
I'm like, oh, you just bought me the whole collection? He's like, no, this is like several years worth. I was like, where'd you get it? He's like, the warehouse. I was like, they let you in at 2:00 in the morning? Yeah, everybody goes in.
He looked at you and was like, forget about it.
Yeah, don't ask, son. Just take it.
Forget about it.
Smile and nod.
And you said Brooklyn, yeah. Forget about it.
Yeah. Hey, forget about it.
All right. Well, we got some topics. So I mean, I hate to cut the reminiscing off, but we gotta get through these, and we'll be here for hours. We'll be here for hours going through Kings and Clowns' retro history, because I do remember very distinctly when Cognito was like, "So Clowns, tell us how you got into gaming. Like, how did you get into gaming your first time, whatever?" And I was like, "Oh, geez, here we go." Like, I knew even before it started that was going to be like a 45-minute thing.
I've been dropping quarters, since Pac-Man. That's the best way to say it.
But that's what the whole show is about. The whole show is really about the guest.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, to get that history, to yank that out of them. I want to see somebody cry. That's what I want. I want to see some tears. I had a Pac-Man. I want that. That's what I want.
Someday, right?
I'm Oprah.
Nice. Speaking of crying, we're getting more talk about this Rockstar. Obviously, everyone knows that Red Dead Redemption is coming out tomorrow. We don't have to tell everyone that, but we're getting more information about this whole culture of crunch, right? And we talked about this with Cognito last week when the news broke, but we got some more in-depth stuff going on over on Kotaku with Jason Schreier. Got into the nitty-gritty, interviewed a ton of employees over at Rockstar, and they talked about their experiences with crunch. And I think we kind of all universally accepted last week, King, I want to get your opinion on it, that, crunch is kind of a thing that happens, and, it's kind of an understood thing that maybe, if it happens, with under certain circumstances where you're kind of forced into these things or else you're fired kind of deal, and you're kind of like blacklisted from the gaming development community, then that's a bad idea. But in terms of working long hours at the end of a development cycle, we were kind of okay with that. But we're hearing a lot more details about this thing. Have you heard about this kind of stuff?
Yeah, I own 2 companies, so I'm not gonna be the best guy to talk about that crunch time thing because my thing is either you're working or you're not.
That's right. Yep, I agree with that.
Yeah, some people will be asked to do more, but some people also get paid more. We all know that for this game to be of the magnitude, like I'm saying 100 on a Metacritic, I'm like, I understand if you have to put those hours in. Hopefully it didn't come at the detriment of somebody's health or something of that nature, but I'm pretty sure that they're well compensated. And And maybe it was like flippant. Maybe the conversation was like flippant that he said, yo, or he or she said, yeah, man, last week, man, I did 100 hours, man. And see, there's a difference between doing 100 hours and hating it and doing 100 hours. And I can't believe that 100 hours just flew by. So, you know, it's what the context was. I don't know. I really can't say. But again, as a gamer, I'm selfish, and as a business owner, I'm completely selfish. So I'm saying, if the game is fantastic, who's to cry about the results?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's yeah.
I'm kind of there too. Even after all this new information, where, you know, some people came out and said it wasn't a big deal. Some people came out and said it was a huge deal. I mean, and now there's, I mean, Clowns, maybe you can add some more to this, because I know you're kind of more in tune with this developing than I am. But we're hearing like more details about how they're doing an internal investigation, and now, you know, all this crazy stuff. Like, this happens at all these companies, and I hear this. I work for a small business. Like, I know. We wouldn't put out nearly the magnitude of a game like this, and, you know, there are long hours sometimes. Like, you're expected to finish the thing by the deadline, and if that comes at a cost, then that comes at a cost. But Clowns, you got some more information, right, on this that you read up on?
Yeah, I mean, if you read further into the article from Jason Schreier, he goes on to say that Rockstar and their Lincoln location apologized for what they did to the employees and for any misperceptions of what went on. So basically, I mean, like you and King alluded to, some employees like working the long hours, and they sign up for the OT, and they're like, yeah, this is awesome. I getting my name in the game. This is great. I can't wait, you know? And then there was other employees that were kind of like disillusioned because allegedly, and I don't think Rockstar has, you know, fully come out and admitted this yet because they're still investigating, but allegedly, like, some of their managers would go around, be like, oh, yeah, so we need some extra people. You're going to work an extra 10 hours. You over there working extra 12, you over there working extra 13. Now, see, what Rockstar is saying is that this overtime was voluntary, right? Like, you volunteered for this overtime. But what the allegations are is that some of these managers just sign these employees up without their permission and just sign them up for the OT. As far as we all know, though, from the current investigations, that these guys were paid for their OT. It's not like these guys were unpaid, which was like the biggest question. Right. But now the second question is, it was kind of like forced OT versus volunteered OT. Now, in a small business like yours, King, and Inferno's, you probably, you know, if you only got like 6 guys on shift and you got a lot of things to do, you're probably like, hey, guys, we need to get some OT in today. And your guys are probably like, oh, yeah, no problem, boss. We got this. You know, Rockstar employees were just, had no clue. They were just, okay, 10 more hours, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I don't like the direction this is kind of going, because I hate, like I said this last week, but I want to reiterate it, that I hate the fact that a game that King already mentioned is getting multiple 100s from reviewers and is sitting in, you know, top 90s, you know, 97 I think last time I looked earlier today on Metacritic. Obviously an amazing game with amazing storytelling, amazing visuals. If you checked out that Digital Foundry video earlier today, you saw that it looks great on. I mean, I think it looked good on everything. I mean, obviously the 1S doesn't look as good, right? But like I think all of them looked really, really good. I mean, yeah, frame rate discrepancies and you know, sharpness and aliasing and whatnot. But I mean, no matter, unless you're looking at them both side by side, I think you're gonna have a great time with this game nonetheless, and I think you're gonna be impressed visually. And to have that stained by this coming out for a company that has just put out incredible content, I think it's just a travesty, honestly.
I want to know who has the axe to grind, you know, because that's the biggest thing. Like, all right, maybe this could have came out way before the game was coming out, but like a week before the game comes out, then this comes out to, you know, to piggyback on the critical acclaim, because this game, the way it's going, is going to get Game of the Year,
no doubt.
All right. Yeah, so, all right, so, but is Game of the Year with an asterisk? Oh, you found out that they did steroids? Like, yeah. I don't understand. You understand? Like, who has the axe to grind? Who got the most likes? Who got the most clicks off of that type of information? And again, I still believe anytime you take a quote, you can take it out of context and it gets blown up in a different manner opposed to how it was originally taken. So you don't have, and if you sat down with some employees, like everybody can have a joke inside a room. If it's 50 people, the larger the group, the worse the joke will be perceived, right? By the masses. So you can have a smaller group and you say a joke, and let's say one person is offended out of that smaller group. As the group gets larger, 2 people, 3 people, 4 people, whatever. How someone perceives something is up to that individual. So again, the hours of the OT given out, one person may not want to do it. Maybe that night they want to go see Deadpool. Maybe that night they got a dinner date with their girlfriend or their boyfriend or whatever the case may be, and they don't want to do overtime, and they're going to be disgruntled with that time. Whereas somebody else has nothing else to do for that night. Yeah, man, I just want to get this game done. I can't wait to see my name in lights, type of thing. And it's individuals, you know. So I don't want it to get blown out of proportion because 1, they were paid. Right. 2, some is coming out that it was voluntary, or mandatory, or regardless to what, you were paid for your labor. Now, if you don't like it after this project is done, quit the company.
Right.
You're paid.
And they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that because we'll get into it in a second. But obviously, you know, the rumors are that Bully 2 is next, and obviously, you know, they're hard to work on something new. And I'm kind of surprised about that Bully thing, by the way. We'll get into that in a second. But you know, like you said, King, like this is a big company. One person doesn't want to do it. Here comes the next person who's willing to get paid. Maybe doesn't have a life, you know, ready to step in. You know, it's small companies. You know, that's more difficult. You kind of quote unquote required. You know, but Rockstar's got plenty of employees that I think could have done this, and you know, people that are bitching about it, they're not going to do anything to protest it. They're going to be part of this story, you know, anonymously, and you know. Everybody's been anonymous, by the way. No one's like you said, like you don't know.
Put your name to it.
Yeah, right. Exactly. They're not putting their name to it because they're working on Bully 2 or whatever the hell they're working on next, and they're not leaving. They're not leaving. That 100 hours didn't make them leave because they made that cheddar, man. They made those bonuses. I'm seeing in the chat right now they're talking. Geeky Nerd in the chat says that, you know, some people were salaried, so it's kind of complicated. They mentioned that in the Kotaku article, the investigation article. But you know, salary people get bonuses, man. Like it's
that's a big thing. Bonuses is a huge thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's not like they aren't getting compensated in one way or another. You know, if you're salaried and you work a ton more hours, you know, those are the kind of people that I could see maybe leaving over hourly, you know, because hourly you're definitely getting paid anyway and you're getting paid overtime pay. But if you're salaried and you don't get a bonus, maybe you do back out. Maybe you do get out of there. And those people maybe could be rightfully pissed and like King suggested, bounce. But I don't know.
Another thing too with this is that Rockstar did confirm this, that if an employee leaves after making the game, so even if they spent 70% of their time at the company making a game, right, and they decide to leave, for whatever reason due to stress or they can't take the hours, then Rockstar removes their name from the credits.
Yeah, I heard that too. And you know what? You know, that's you know, that is the incentive.
That's shiesty. Yeah, that's shiesty. I don't care. That is shiesty. That is shite. That is messed up. That's like erasing your name off of history. Like, yo, my blood is left here too. No, I don't believe. No, don't even put me in honorable mentions.
Have fun putting that in your resume after you get taken out of the game's credit. Oh, you weren't in the credit. We didn't notice you in the credits anywhere.
Could you imagine? You'd be like, yo, son, look, my name is there. Nah, daddy, you quit. Your name
Daddy, I beat the game. You weren't in there. Oh, son, sorry, I quit. Like
they erased us, son. They erased us.
I made the worst move from side to side, but I just couldn't take it anymore, and I left. Oh man, they give it to the next guy in line. Oh, his name's in the
yeah, right.
Exactly.
I mean, Thomas did 20% and you did 80%, but Thomas' name is in lights.
That's gotta hurt somebody, though. I mean, that's gotta really upset somebody.
Yeah.
Now you know what? You should have started with that because I mean that is dirty, underhanded.
Yeah.
I mean that is bad. Now that is bad. I mean, because you're not giving that person they just do credit. I don't care. They worked on the game. Put their name there. Their name it should be cemented in the credits because they are actually contributed to that game. I don't care if they contributed a leaf to the game. You know, they did it, so they're there. I don't know.
I know. Imagine like 3 years after release, right? And that guy's looking for a new job, and he goes and he's like, "Yeah, man, I worked on 80% of the art in Red Dead 2." And you know that the new company calls up the HR department at Rockstar, be like, "Oh, did he work on the game? Let me go through the credits real quick." No, I don't see his name.
No,
there.
he didn't. No,
sorry. Like, you know, that affects his future employment if he doesn't know other people in the industry. That kind of sucks.
Yeah,
that's bad business. That's bad business. That's bad.
Yeah,
I wouldn't do that.
So yeah, I mean, I wanted to follow up on the news that came out this week about that story, but I hate that story in general because I'm excited as hell to play the game, and you know, I think, you know, I don't want to like act like these guys are veterans or anything and like thank individually, like thank you for their service, but I do appreciate the fact that it takes a huge army of developers and concept artists and QA and all that stuff to make a game like that I'm going to enjoy, and probably, you know, I'm already anticipating being in like my top 10. You know, especially, no doubt, like top 5 of this gen, I'm expecting. I mean, I loved the first game, so I can't wait for this one. And, you know, all signs are pointing towards this one being, you know, like game of the year quality. So,
yeah, soul sucker. It's one of those games that you're going to get sucked in, and that's it. Oh my God, I got too many of those games. I have a stack. My backlog is ridiculous.
Same, man.
This makes no sense.
Same, dude. I'm seeing people on Twitter, I can't remember who it was, posting they got 1,000 games in their Xbox library. I'm like, bro, you're never gonna complete those. Like, not a chance you're gonna even come close to completing those. And you know, there have been a lot of great games that, you know, have this kind of like you said, they like soul sucker quality. Like Assassin's Creed Odyssey is a game I do eventually want to get into, but I know it's just going to be one of those games that are going to require a ton of my attention. So, like, I feel like I'm gonna not ignore it, but like keep pushing it to the side and like always think, oh, maybe I want to try that, maybe I want to try that. But you know, then you got like Red Dead Redemption 2 coming out, and then, you know, whatever comes after, you know, Division 2 comes out, and I'll be want to dump some time into that, and you know,
I just finished Origins second DLC. I have one last DLC to finish on Origins. All right. And Odyssey came out, and Sovereign was like, you know, Odyssey is out because he gave me the code to play it on Google.
Yeah, right. Project Stream, yeah.
Yeah, he was like, you know, check it out on the Project Stream thing. He said it's running pretty good. You know, you got a pretty good rig. I said, no, I'm actually not, because I got to finish this DLC. I want to start getting back to the levels of, you know, completing games, actually seeing credits, actually feeling like, all right, this game is done. Let me move on to the next game instead of being in the middle of one game and, oh, I got to fight Taskmaster next week on Thursday. You know, you setting up dates for your games. Like, this doesn't make any sense right now.
Right. Yeah, I mean, dude, a lot of these games, like, a lot of people value the fact that they have long hours of playtime. Sometimes I just like to get a game that I can, you know, beat in a weekend or beat in a week and be like, yo, that was a great high quality game that took me a reasonable amount of time to beat and move on to the next one. Like, I get that feeling all the time, but I mean, people bitching about playtime, and then you get these long ass games, and got people in the chat saying Assassin's actually in the chat, even though he can't reconnect for some reason. 40 hours in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, still not halfway done. I mean, that's intimidating sometimes, man.
this guy just shamed the hell out of me on Twitter the other day, and he was bigging me up, but I was like, I didn't believe that I put that much hours into Destiny 2. I put 1,200 hours.
Oh my God.
Real
holy shit.
Hours.
Yeah.
And I said, oh my God.
Yeah.
like, yo, and it never ends because I actually did a whole bunch of stuff this week and ran some people through some Nightfalls and some other stuff, and I was just like, I had to totally disconnect from it today and play Spider-Man all morning.
Yeah, dude, that's how I'm feeling right now with Black Ops. Like, I'm really digging the new Call of Duty for, I think it's the best one of this gen, and I've been playing the hell out of that, but I know there's other stuff I want to get to, like the Spider-Man DLC we'll talk about in a minute. I really want to get to that, but it's like, I always get called back to playing some Blackout or playing, some multiplayer, a few rounds. That one more round mentality ends up being like till 1 o'clock in the morning.
That's what you said yesterday, right, clowns? Like, because I was like, I thought it was yesterday. He was like, yeah, good luck on getting Inferno off of that Call of Duty.
Assassin, yeah. Assassin.
Both of us, man. Both of us. We've been, dude, Assassin, though, has been putting in some serious time in that game.
He is fifth prestige king. He's fifth prestige, rank 32 already.
That's ridiculous.
It's absurd, yeah. It is. It's really absurd.
And it's been out like 2 weeks now, right? 1 or 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, just about 2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah,
it's crazy. It is. It's crazy. It's absolutely nuts.
He's already almost got dark matter for his weapons, so that means he's already got gold, and he's got diamond for his weapons as well. So he did all the headshot challenges with the guns and everything.
It's crazy.
That is dedication, man. That is the engagement that these companies want to keep you addicted to.
Yep.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm trying to figure it out, because once I can figure it out, I got to get with somebody, and we got to develop something that's going to have to strike like gold to get that type of engagement to that level. Because 1,200 hours, I just shook my head and said, I couldn't believe it.
And yeah.
Maybe if you would have said, I don't know. I really didn't put no mind to it. And those numbers actually sell.
Yeah,
somebody's buying those numbers.
Those are the games that are making the money these days. Is stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. It's crazy. Black Ops 4 is like drugs, equal to drugs, Assassin says. I mean, you say the same thing about Destiny every once in a while. Destiny is one of those games where, like, you come back to it after a while and you're just like, wow, this is really good. And you play for a bit and you're like, all right, let me play something else. At least for me, that's what it is. And I come back to it, I'm like, this is really good. The gunplay is amazing, man.
You get the for a minute type of thing, and I literally I'll be in a chat with 16 people.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and also in tweeted here and there, and there's another chat going on, and you have people in line. So we're gonna do this gambit match. All right, listen, I'll do this gambit with you guys until we finish up this, and then I'll switch off with the next 4 guys, and then I jump into the next party with the next 4 guys. My day is already gone. I'm already doing a couple of nightfalls, and I'm running through, and then I'm trying to jump into some raids. So whereas the same way you're doing Call of Duty and that nature, I'm stuck in that Destiny world. I can't get out of it until I just disconnect from my Xbox.
It's easy, man. It's easy. Some of these games, it's too easy. That's why I feel like Division 2 is going to be for me in a few months. I feel like I'm going to just like get sunken into that. But until then, Red Dead Redemption coming out tomorrow. Not coming out for PC yet, but rumors are that it is coming out for PC. Looks like that there are, I feel like people are surprised by this. I'm not at all surprised by this. I mean, I think Rockstar is over that mentality of not putting games out on PC. Last couple of Rockstar games have come to PC, albeit, like almost a year later, but, whatever. I mean, GTA 5, we saw that like 5 months after the PlayStation 4 release, and like almost 2 years, a year and a half, whatever, after the original release on 360 and PS3. It did come to PC and did very well. Obviously, it's still doing insanely well. We see here there were a few leaked images of, I think this was like a month or so ago, that we got some leaked images of one of the Rockstar programmers putting in that they worked on the Red Dead Redemption 2 PC version on LinkedIn. And then most recently, we got a listing on one of the biggest electronics and gaming stores in Europe and most of the European countries. I know every time I go to Europe, I got to go to this place, Media Market. and they have a listing for Red Dead Redemption 2 on PC. It says it's coming out next year, so they don't have a specific date. They just have like a placeholder date, but we got that recently as well. So obviously it's coming to PC. I mean, do you guys think this is a big deal? Obviously this is going to happen, you know?
No. Hopefully it's Play Anywhere with Microsoft.
That would be really nice. I don't know if PlayStation's going to allow that kind of thing, but that would be really nice.
It's going to get to a point with that whole Microsoft thing. If they can actually get their hands on Gabe like they're supposed to. But if they can actually get it to the point where it's a viable marketplace and Play Anywhere, it's a real thing, it'll take off. You won't be able to stop that machine because PC guys actually go out and purchase games at the highest fidelity. So opposed to like us console players, some PC guys here, us console players, we're not playing at the highest fidelity. These PC guys are. So now once they're already used to DRM and getting around it or whatever, but most of the time they purchase their games from Steam or wherever. And if Microsoft can penetrate that market, there's nothing PlayStation or Sony or any other company with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Clowns, I think you have been a proponent aggressively for something to like combat Steam and Microsoft, maybe to make this Play Anywhere into something a little bit bigger, right?
Yeah, like 3 or 4 years ago, I suggested first that they did like the Game Pass thing, and then I suggested on top of that, the next thing I suggested was that they should build like the next Xbox should be like a modular kind of like Steam machine where you keep adding components instead of having to buy new hardware for so many years. You could just buy like more RAM, slot it in with the slot, and then on top of that, I suggested that Microsoft should. At that point, just go ahead and combine PC games into the Xbox ecosystem and buy out Steam. I mean, they should really just buy Steam at this point. They can afford to, and they could probably integrate it properly.
Yeah,
because the marketplace sucks. So
yeah,
no, they got to improve on that. That is horrendous.
How often do you go into that Windows marketplace on your PC to look for games?
Oh, my God. Never. I mean, even like games that I own that are Play Anywhere, I go into that marketplace. I'm like, help! I like have to type into the search bar. I cannot find that shit. It's like so broken and terrible. I mean, it looks quote unquote modern, but it's not functional enough. It's like Steam looks like trash, but it's functional. It's like the exact opposite. But
yeah, I know, right? They take two different takes on it. Like Steam, you can get anything that you want at any time. It looks horrible, but Microsoft looks really good and polished. But you're like, where's what and what the hell? It's just like it's too convoluted. If they can actually streamline it, yeah, and integrate it, yes. And the modular PC hybrid system thing, I think you eliminate that with Project Scarlet, whereas the cloud-based stuff, and you can work on it that way. And make sure you get Game Pass on PC. People they're gonna die when that happens, and that's gonna happen.
Oh yeah,
they're gonna be further and further away from these systems.
King, that was just announced today. Actually, did you hear about that? And I think it was an earnings call earlier today that they Satya Nadella, I think, offhandedly kind of said that Games Pass is coming to PC. So I mean, I'm really interested to see what kind of games are included on that. I hope that includes some big PC hitters that we don't even know about right now, but something tells me that they're offering on Games Pass for PC is going to be really low compared to Xbox, at least at the get-go,
Well, the writing was on the wall once they announced mouse and keyboard.
Right.
Once they announced mouse and keyboard, and then they will actually have a licensed mouse and keyboard, then I knew, all right, they're not trying to shoehorn these games onto console anymore. They're going to give you the games as is and tell you need a mouse and keyboard to play these games. So that also preluded straight across to, Game Pass is going to make its way over to PC. Why wouldn't it? If you're trying to conquer that market and you're trying to show that value and you want to get those engagement numbers up, if you're saying that you want it on everything, on people's cell phone and everything, of course, PC is a no-brainer. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad. A lot of people bitch about the Xbox ecosystem being, you know, a PC thing as well as a console thing. I think it's great, honestly. Like, maybe I'm biased because I have a PC that can game pretty well, and King, you mentioned earlier you have a nice rig too, so maybe we're a little bit biased, but like at the same time, you know, that just encourages some developers to kind of to work with Microsoft a little bit on quote unquote exclusive stuff if it's going to come to both. And I think, you know, fleshing out the marketplace is the next step to that, to even further developer and publisher interest in and trust that Microsoft can get them some nice sales on PC. I mean, look what happened when, I can't remember what Call of Duty it was, but one Call of Duty like was on the Windows Store and Steam and Xbox, and none of them could play with each other. Like, you could only play with the people. I think it was like Black Ops 3 was on the Windows Store, and you can only play with people on Windows Store. You couldn't play with people that bought it from Steam. I mean, stuff like that. It's just like stuff Microsoft really needs to iron out in order to compete, you know? So.
Well, I think that cross-platforming and cross-progression is really going to be a thing. That has to happen for us.
Hell yeah. Absolutely. Other than Red Dead Redemption, it looks like, I mentioned a little bit earlier, and this is just crazy to me. This is like absolutely legitimately crazy because I think Rockstar is milking. I mean, obviously it's still doing well. I mean, you look at NPDs. I'm not a huge person to like, you know, analyze NPD numbers with like a calculator and all this shit. You know, I look into it. I'm interested in it just to see how games are doing, but I'm not, you know, number crunching like some other people. But I did happen to notice that GTA 5 is still making that top 20 list every single damn month, and the game's been out for so long. So I don't know if Rockstar, and I want to get your opinion on this, you guys, but I don't know if Rockstar is, you know, milking GTA 5 until the very last drop, and that's why the next game is going to be Bully 2 and not GTA 6, or I don't know what they know with analytics or what, but I think GTA 6 would just be the next logical step. I don't think Bully was good enough. The first one was good enough for there to be like a Bully 2 before the next big GTA release, you know?
I thought Bully sucked. But,
yeah, exactly.
I didn't think that it was this thing, but okay, I say this, right? This is the time when they're able to make those bold moves and put out a game that they didn't think performed to the expectations that the company wanted it to, and they still have this license, and let's put this out while GTA is still doing this, and we know that Red Dead is going to go do this, and then when the DLC comes for Red Dead, it is going to still do this, and we're going to keep on pushing it, and they can still push out content for GTA while the script is being worked on for GTA 6 with it, the install base for the next consoles get a little bit more robust. And then you can put out Bully and see what Bully does. If Bully 2 does the numbers or it actually lives up to the expectations of the first one, then it's a win. If it's a loss, if it fails, it's a loss. It doesn't matter because it's not going to hurt the company in any aspect. So I think this is a perfect time to drop that game and hold on to the Grand Theft 6 until the next gen gets into the midstream, and then you have those numbers there, those 50 to 60 million, then you release the game.
Yeah, I don't think if there is a truly new generational leap, kind of like from 360 to 1 or, you know, PlayStation 3 to PlayStation 4, I don't think that's going to happen. But if there is that true generational leap where there is a huge separation in power and the backwards compatibility kind of like gets nixed, I don't believe that's going to happen. But if that happens, I think that it would be foolish for GTA 6 to be like a cross-platform game like GTA 5. Like the fact that GTA 5 had to release multiple times, I think that was a bad thing, kind of. So GTA 6, there's no chance of that coming out in this current gen of consoles. And I think you're right. I think they have to wait a couple of years into the next gen life cycle in order to, you know, get familiar with that hardware, see what that can do, and then release like a really, really quality next gen GTA 6 experience. But Bully 2, I'm just surprised it's even happening. Like that first game was just so terrible. I know people in the chat are being like, yeah, I like Bully 2. You know, Bully 2 is great. So Bully 1 was great. But
I'd rather see a remake of Willy Beamish.
Yes, dude. Dude, Willy Beamish is so much better than Bully. It's not even close, dude. Oh
yeah, I
my
used to
god,
my Sega CD, and I'm like, wow, this is blowing me away. It's amazing. Look at this cartoon graphics, so great.
dude, that game wasn't easy. That game was not easy, man. I don't even know if I ever completed it. I got so frustrated with that thing.
No, I got frustrated with it. I did not complete it at all. I played at my boy Jeff's house, Mr. High. No,
Yeah,
not at all.
Clowns going for that Willie Beamish 2, not that Bully 2, huh? Clowns, did you play Bully 1?
I bought it when it was on sale for like $4 or $5 through the Microsoft store.
Yeah.
And I tried to play it, and I'm like, wow, this game sucks. What the hell am I playing? This is terrible.
Yeah, dude. I'm not a fan of like running through the halls and like spitting loogies at like chicks and stuff like that. I'm straight on that shit. Like, I'm good.
Yeah, I wasn't about the whole like high school aspect of it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, my high school aspect, I wasn't on junior varsity or none of that stuff, and I really can care less about it. I don't even go back to reunions, so that's not a thing for me, you know. So now I'm good.
All straight on that. Yeah. Dude, I don't know. Hopefully, in my opinion, like the resources just being dedicated to the next GTA, and we got a really good release on that, and they're separate teams or whatnot. Because, man, Bully 2, yikes. All right, let's move on from that. Clowns, you've had a little bit of time to get your feet wet with the Fallout 76 beta. What they abbreviate, they call it the Break It Early Test Application, and yeah, right. I thought that was kind of cute.
You know, it did break early on many people.
Yeah,
yes.
No, a lot of people had some problems with it, but a lot of people really loving it. I think the community is really divided on this thing, and I really think it's unfortunate because I think Bethesda has been killing it this gen, obviously. Not just with Fallout games, but you know, with all their IPs and with new stuff they've been bringing, and you know, I think that Fallout 76 presented extremely well at E3, and I think that there was a lot of hype for it. But now, with this beta, like, I feel like there's a lot of who cares mentality with this thing. I don't see a lot of people going for this, trying it. I don't think a lot of people are really anticipating, you know, getting their feet wet in this. Like, usually a lot of people want to play the betas, especially for big games like this. But Clowns, I mean, I'm going to roll a little bit of your footage here of what you played through, I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago. But what were your kind of initial impressions of the beta? Like, do you think that people are doing the right thing, not checking it out, or you think really this is a good entry into Fallout so far?
Oh, I think that for everybody that bought this and didn't check it out, it's a missed opportunity because it's a hit or miss game for some people. There's people that check this out and want their money back, and there's people that checked it out and love it. So I think everybody should have checked this out, or at least go watch videos to see if it's something you're going to want to keep now before, you know, it releases. As far as my opinion on this game, I think the graphics have definitely improved since Fallout 4. It's a lot more detail. It's nice looking. But there's some really bad things about this game that kind of irked me because I love Fallout 4. I love Fallout 3. I like New Vegas. And in this one, I was like expecting like this fantastic world where I go out there and I get these quests and I'm like, man, I feel like I did something good today. Well, in this game, as soon as you leave the vault, it's like, find campsite, find this, build armor, kill a bug, watch out for, you know, those ghoulies. And it was just like, wow, is there any real purpose of this? Like, and then you hear these audio tapes that like talk for 10, 12, 15 minutes and they don't shut up. And you're like, you're looking at one quest and you're listening to this other thing going on. And you're like, kind of confused here. They're talking about this, but they're telling me to do this. And then there's glitches like where it has markers on the map for like, I had to get rawhide from the two-headed cow thing. And there's markers there that say, hey, there's rawhide on this cow. I go there, it's empty, like somebody took it. So it wasn't there. And didn't generate a new one for like a long time. I had to go walking around and find this damn rawhide. Such a waste of my time because it should have been in that immediate area. It's you know, it's so lackluster and it's disappointing because it's Bethesda and they made Skyrim and they made these great games that gave me the story that sucked you in. And I go to play this and it's like, go to the volunteer center. So I go to the volunteer. Everybody's dead, of course, you know, because it's Fallout. Everybody's dead. Oh, what am I supposed to do? Hit this button on a computer? Oh, it tells me to volunteer. The computer's still working, and civilization is like basically dead, and the computer's still talking to me. Hey, do this. Hey, do this. Oh, great job, volunteer. You got the tower back up. Good job. Well, why the hell did I get the tower back up if there's no living people walking around? Like, it's like kind of pointless. Mm-hmm. It's like, what am I trying to reach? Aliens out there? Hey, you gonna come down and help me out? So
I think they did a mistake with letting you guys play it early.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean,
I'm looking at it.
I'm with you. I'm with you on it. I'm with you on that, because it's like that. How many times this generation have we gotten access to betas that people have played and been disappointed in, and then it's like crushed sales? Like Titanfall 2 is the go-to example of that, where people played the beta, weren't impressed, and then Titanfall 2 was a disaster in terms of sales, to the point where you see it popping up like $6, $5, $4, here and there. And I thought that was an incredible game.
It's a good game.
Yeah,
I thought it was a good game. Yeah, like watching what you're doing here, like, because I didn't get a chance. I shut off myself from games that I know I'm gonna purchase. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see any DLC. I don't want to see anything, because I know I'm gonna purchase it. I want to explore it, and I want to have fun in the world by myself, my own experiences. But seeing it right now, I see the frame rate drop, and that would have me a little bit disappointed. But I also see the graphic fidelity is a little bit higher. I'm laughing at the little hat that you have on your head. I think that is funny as hell to me. I think I will laugh for probably like 2 hours with that little hat on my head. But my initial thought when they announced this game, it was you will be able to be 4 players. You will go into the RPG aspect of the world a little bit deeper, and you will be able to do co-op stuff. You're trying to get codes for the nukes, and just work cooperatively in this massive world that we was doing it before, that we were complaining about, that we were singular in. So that's what I thought. I just thought they just incorporated 4 people and fleshed out the story a little bit more, made it a little bit more robust, and you had team building. So that's all I'm looking for the game.
So you probably won't be disappointed with it, because there is that aspect. Like if you get a group together, some good friends, you're gonna have a lot of fun because you're roaming around this open world with your friends, doing stuff together. So that kind of takes away from the negativity I felt towards the single player, where I felt since I played it single, I felt so empty in the game, you know what I mean? Because I wasn't talking to people and be like, oh man, look, I just killed this awesome bug. And Assassin be like, oh, good job, clowns. Here's a yoo-hoo. So
jeez.
But there was parts where that I think they did something right. And I think when I went to this area, there was this event quest going on, like this event. So I walk in the circle, kind of like you feel like in Destiny 1, where you just go in the area and like the event's going on. And there was like 10 people there just walking around doing what they were supposed to do. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, so I just stayed in a corner. They did all the work, all these 10 different people, killing all these like flying robots around the place. And I got credit for it. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I got some XP. I just sat there. I watched everybody. I like waved at them, gave them some emotes, and like, yeah, we're buds now. So it was kind of cool.
Was it proximity chat, or was it like emote based, like press the button to wave? Because that's my new thing. I really want proximity chat, so you can yell at somebody when they screwing up the event.
So you can be like, clowns, damn it, participate. Why are you just standing there?
Exactly.
I think I would imagine they have to have some sort of proximity chat, to be honest with you. Otherwise, I don't think it could function properly. Kind of like the way ESO might be, Elder Scrolls Online.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I kind of think that's in there. I didn't get to experience it because I stayed in party chat, I think, with Yeti while he was playing it, and we were talking a little bit. Yeah, but like you said, that's something that's a necessity at this point, and it's got to be in there. And that's another point I want to bring up too. Have you played Elder Scrolls Online, King?
Yes, of course. I'm a big fool for that game. I was there when it was broken. I got a vampire werewolf.
Nice. Good job. That's awesome. So, like in Elder Scrolls Online, I felt like when I hopped in there was so much to do, there was like, I could pick up quests from this guy, go do this thing. And there was a lot of stuff, even though the graphics weren't the greatest. I had fun because there's just so much stuff to do. And you're like, man, I want to level up. I want to be able to use this. And with the Fallout 76 initial beta, I didn't feel like that kind of questing was in there yet. And maybe they'll add it after launch. I mean, they're always going to be working on this for a while. But right now in the initial stages, and I think on launch, it's going to be kind of like bare bones questing, whereas Elder Scrolls Online did the questing better.
Yeah, it's like it goes back to what I was saying about the Titanfall 2 comparison for that beta. It's like you expose people to a bare bones experience, and you're gonna get a little bit of backlash on it. And a lot of people are like King, that are, for sure gonna grab it. They were turned on by, the co-op aspect, and it's a huge divergence for the Fallout series, like massive divergence, and it's what's got me interested in the game myself. But some of those people also like are so excited and can't wait to play it that they do grab the beta, and then they get it, and it's kind of like this, and it's like, ugh, It's like, what the hell? Exactly like you said, Clowns. Like, what the hell am I doing? Geeky Nerd says in the YouTube chat, the no NPCs thing is weird in my opinion. Like, it looks so bare compared to what I expected it to be. I mean, obviously it's Fallout, so you don't expect it to be like living with people dancing in the streets and like kumbaya and shit. But I still kind of expected there to be more. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just scaled back for now.
It's Fallout, man. It's like, okay, you just happen to have 4 people that survived this nuclear drop, and okay, I can get that. I'm not turned off by it right now. I mean, I honestly can see them adding more stuff for you to do. I don't know. I'm just still intrigued by it. I love the Pip-Boy. The Pip-Boy looks a whole lot better than the normal Pip-Boy that they throw up on the screen. The foliage looks a whole lot better. I know the frame rate will pick up when they flush it out. I know they was probably testing the server to see how many people they can populate at one time or how it works with 4 people. I don't really try to play betas. That's my thing. I try to fall back off of it because you get this bad taste in your mouth off a pre-release game, and then when the game is actually released, PUBG, to give you an example, when it first came out, it was horrible.
Oh yeah.
But then if you play PUBG now, you're like, whoa.
Yeah, it's a lot better. Yeah. Yeah. And for the bigger games, it's even more of a disappointment. Like if it were a lesser known game, or not from a severely an extremely established franchise, I should say. If it was something smaller, you'd be like, okay, like whatever. But like Fallout. I mean, for some people, I kind of am with you, King, where it's like, what did you expect? But at the same time, they just showed off so many things you could do with other people during that presser and during all the promotional stuff. It's kind of like you get into this, and at least from your experience, Clowns, and from a few people I've heard, it's the interactivity just isn't as much of the game as was expected, right?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't polished as far as questing goes. And there was like no NPCs around in the areas that I was in. Just a bunch of dead people. And that's something that Bethesda could change. I mean, on launch, maybe there will be NPCs inside the vault, and they'll be like, hey, you guys got to go outside. It's nice and sunny today. There's a nuclear front coming in. It's warm weather. Something cool. I mean, because in the vault, it does sound like there's a lot of activity when you read the computer screens and you read the terminals of what's going on and the audio tapes. It sounds like there should be some people living in there talking, but you just don't see it in the beta.
Yeah. I feel like you just gotta temper your expectations a bit when you're doing things like this. And, I'm still pretty interested in the game. It's probably my most anticipated Fallout maybe ever, because I'm not a huge Fallout fan, but this one, like the cooperative aspect really caught my eye, and I don't know, something about it is more arcadey to me than traditional Fallouts, and I kind of like that aspect to it.
It is.
So, you know, I'll definitely be still picking it up no matter what other people are saying because I want to make my own opinion. But at the same time, you know, I just feel like this is just going to get swallowed up by that negativity. And I hate to see that, you know. I just hate to see that.
Well, on the flip side of this, there is some big fans of Bethesda that are loving this game. You know, they're not looking at this stuff that I'm looking at because they're thinking, you know, after launch it's going to get better, like Elder Scrolls did. And shout out to Yeti, who's always in our party chat. He's loving this game in the bare bones state that it's in. He's like, man, I love going from quest to quest and leveling up. I love picking up objects. Man, I love making this armor. I love looking for the materials. You know, he's just so happy about everything in the game. And
that's funny.
It's going to excite some people, man. I mean, because you still got to go out there and do things, you know? For me, it was like, damn it, the rawhide's not in the damn cow. Where'd it go? It's supposed to be there. The marker says it's there.
That's where we've gotten in gaming, gentlemen. We're getting pissed about rawhides not being there.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean,
I know I'm gonna play with Anchor, man.
Oh hell yeah!
I promise. So, I don't know, man. I'm like I said, I'm happy I didn't touch it in the beta. I'm happy I want the full game. I'm gonna probably buy the big DLC that they never tell you exactly what's coming in the DLC. That's how Bethesda moves. But I'm looking at it. I'm like, I'm kind of envious of you, to be honest with you. And I know you're saying the rawhide wasn't there, but I'd have probably went in the bushes someplace and found something else. So, I don't know, man. Can't call it.
Addict's in the chat. Lord Addict, another member of the round table, is here, and he says he feels like it's going to get better, but we attack Sea of Thieves for the same issue. I mean, I feel like it's very Sea of Thievesy. I feel like it's the very same thing. You know,
I
heard through the grapevine, kind of off topic, but you know, we're gonna go into a new topic anyway. I heard through the grapevine that there was a little bet that was wagered, and Addict did not come out on the winning side of that. Am I correct?
Let me tell you something. Addict has came out on the winning side of a couple of our bets. And he has puffed his little chest out for a little too long. Okay. So right now I got a stick pin and I'm gonna pop his chest. But tune in on Sunday, please. It is going to be something that you don't want to miss.
Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy.
Listen, he tried to jump in my chat the other day and try to, talk. I said, no, we're not talking about anything. We're not even going to approach that topic until Sunday, brother. How was your day? So he knows.
He's trying to like, calm the storm a little bit before it happens. He's trying to make peace a little bit, but ain't happening. Ain't happening.
Nah. Get them knees ready.
Get their knees, yeah, right. I heard about all this. Nice. That's funny. Speaking of one of those games that was in question, Spider-Man took home the NPD crown. Obviously, that's what was bet on, but already got a DLC out, which I'm kind of impressed, but at the same time worried about because, obviously they were working on this before the game came out. I'm not too upset about that. It is what it is. The kind of thing happens. But we see this DLC, and it's a lot more of the same from what I've heard and from what I've read. Like I said, I've not gotten a chance to play it. Assassin got a chance to play a ton of it, but unfortunately he's having computer problems. But the DLC is called The Heist. It's out now. It's part of the season pass, quote unquote. I think it's like $10 if you buy it individually. Did you get a chance to play it, King?
No.
Yeah.
I played the setup part to it, right? What I don't like what these companies are doing right about now is this DLC crap. I'm not a proponent about the DLC.
Really? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you're gonna sell me a game for $100, sell me a game for $100. Give me all my damn content. Don't nickel and dime me all the way through, because they give you Felicia stories throughout the game, and then they stop. Like, you got to find her little cat stuff throughout the initial story,
Mm-hmm.
and then that leads you to have this weird curiosity, and then they announced the DLC where you can actually see her in. So they built you up to something that you were never going to achieve in the base game, but you can achieve this in the DLC for a little bit more. Now this goes back to what we was talking about off camera when we was talking about old school games. They shipped the game was all there. Whatever you paid for. Companies didn't care if they beat you in the head for $79 for Strider for Genesis or for Super Nintendo or for whatever. 64 meg cartridge, they hit you in the head with the price. Hit me in the head with the price and don't come back to my wallet.
Mm-hmm.
But these guys, now, this game just came out, and I didn't even finish the game yet, and I'm in the middle of it having a great time, and here I go. I look in the corner, DLC available for something that looks like it should have shipped with the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's what I think. If you read some of the reviews that some of the bigger outlets have put out, and if you talk to people on Twitter or wherever that have talked about the game, that's the thing that pisses me off about it. I've come to kind of accept, I'm kind of like on the other side of that, King. I kind of have come to accept the fact that I don't like DLC either, really. If it's story based, I'm kind of okay paying a little bit extra if they've continually worked on something different and brought something new to the table. But when it's like this, where, like you said, you get little bits and pieces through the story, and it feels like they kind of purposely held it back just to release something that you have to pay for, I'm not a huge fan of that, especially when I know that this was worked on before the game came out. Like, no question that this was, a designed release that. Obviously, it was a bait. You got baited in the game. You want to see how that story ends. The story's compelling, and you're baiting people into buying the DLC, and it's just more of the same. There's nothing really new to this DLC from anything I've read. I mean, there's a few, like the drone sequences. They changed those up a little bit from what I've heard, but like other than that, it's really just the same old, and it's kind of like what you said, the continuation of something that was established in the main game, and it's kind of like, okay. Give me something new, man. If I'm going to pay extra, I need something new. I don't want, the unfinished portion that I probably should have gotten from my original 60.
Yep.
But, Klaus,
on that note, I will buy it, though.
oh my God.
Listen, I'm not an idiot. All right, I can be against something, but I'm not an idiot I'm going to deprive myself and make myself feel this pain. I hope that the practices will change if there's any way that I can affect these changes later on. And I know they say vote with your dollar.
Yeah, I was just going to say
that. Yeah, I wanted to see what Felicia looks like anyway, so I'm going to get it.
I haven't.
Yeah, what do you think?
I haven't played it. I'm too busy playing Black Ops 3 with Assassin.
See,
and
that's the
trying
crazy
to finish
thing, man.
AC Odyssey, and then getting ready for Red Dead Redemption 2, and then going to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween, then going to Charleston, Savannah, and so I don't think I have time to play it.
See, that's the crazy thing. It's like it's like the DLC released so soon. It's kind of in a crowded time. I just question this scheduling, and to me, it's like mostly negative, this release, even though, Spider-Man, obviously incredible game. Love the hell out of that game. King, you said you were playing it all day. You're loving the hell out of it. I think we all universally think it's an awesome game, wherever your allegiances are. I mean, if your allegiances are to gaming, like it should be, you should know that this is an amazing game and, worthy of, platform selling for sure. But that's the thing. It's like, you got such a great game, and then this DLC comes out, and I think it's mostly negative because, like we've already outlined, it's just more of the same, and you just have in the back of your head that you're thinking, oh, like why couldn't this have been in the regular game?
You know what it was? It was the big tease. It's the big tease. It's like you're dating online with somebody, and you're talking and everything, but you got to see me. Well, you think she lives in New York, and no, she lives in Canada. So you got to buy that plane ticket and fly out. So I thought I was going to see, I swear, I was playing. I stopped chasing book bags just to find these little cats.
Mm-hmm.
And I did it all the way through. I was like, yeah. I'm going to get a chance to see this girl in spandex. And no. Not at all. And I was like really pissed off to see that the DLC was dead. I said, you know what? When I finish the main game, then I'll download the DLC and play it. Yeah, there you go. That and when I saw the trailer, I was so mad. Because you know what? I need it.
You hear this man, Clowns? He's going all in, like King always does. He goes all in on this shit. He's bringing the good points on why it's bullshit that this, the way this was released. But I'm gonna get it anyway,
Yeah, man, it's a fact, man. That looks really good.
He wants the experience. I can't blame him. It's Marvel, and they make. I mean, Marvel's just cool in general, right? So. You're going to have to experience this sometime. And the good news for you, King, is that according to Assassin, this DLC is only about 2 hours long. So you'll be able to cram that in between your Destiny and everything else.
Oh, 2 hours, man. They should have been able to get something longer than that out for $10. And see, that even makes me more pissed because that could have been in the game. 2 hours. I mean, 2 hours? Come on.
That wasn't in the game, man. That wasn't in the game. I don't care. That was in the game.
It takes place after the main story, Assassin said in the chat. And also another thing is that he did mention in party chat earlier that there's a lot of, if you want all the trophies, you're going to spend more time trying to do like challenges and stuff and 3-starring them, which I mean, it's kind of cool for some people, it gives them something to do if they want that trophy collection, put it up on the wall like I'm going to do because Assassin hasn't gotten it yet and I'm going to do it first. So, it's good.
Assassin, Clowns, how you liking those drone challenges, bro?
I got platinum.
Did you?
The game, yeah, I completed it. So I was able to get enough 2 and 3 stars to get all the costumes and all the upgrades I needed and whatnot. So it wasn't so bad. I listened to Assassin's Advice.
Yeah, I know you guys were putting in some time trying to figure that out at the beginning. I know you guys were kind of getting pissed and fed up about it, but. Nevertheless, good game all around. I think it's like King says, like you wanna make a stand maybe and vote with your dollars, but you just know it's so damn good. It's like, what the hell am I gonna do? Miss out on that? But
it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, Assassin says in the chat, story wouldn't have fit well with the main story, so he's glad it was separate. Yeah, I mean. Me hearing it's 2 hours kind of makes me feel like it would have been nice to just be including it, but I don't know. You've played it, Assassin, so I'll defer to you on that. But I will be grabbing it eventually. I'll probably just grab the season pass at this point. I think the season pass is only like $25, something like that. So it's.
Hopefully, when I grab the season pass, it's on Black Friday sale.
Oh, true that. Ooh,
yeah,
good point.
It might be.
Good point.
I mean, the game did so phenomenally well that they should be able to afford a price cut by Black Friday.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
Definitely.
$12.99. Let's go.
$12.99.
And you know why? Because it makes absolute. I have taken a break on purchasing games. This Game Pass is phenomenal. Microsoft has allowed me to get all these first-party games in Game Pass without me spending that $60 or whatever it is for whatever game, and I can play these games inside Game Pass, and that just made my backlog get even crazier. But it took off at least $200 out of the year that you would normally go into your wallet to pay for these games. And that allows me to play these games at my leisure. So certain games I don't have to buy, and I can wait until the price drops. I can actually be economical with my dollar, wait till Black Friday to play Red Dead. I don't really need to play Red Dead right now.
Mm-hmm.
I can wait until the price drops, because I still got games from last Black Friday that's still in the plastic.
Oh, same. Yeah. I mean, dude, I feel like this gen more than any other gen, I feel like games have been dropping so soon. Even big hitters I feel like are dropping so quickly. Like, I think there was a joke.
I mean, that is true.
I think there was a joke that on another podcast, I can't remember which one it was, but somebody made the joke that, like, you never buy EA games right away because 2 weeks later, without fail, they'll drop. Like, it's true. Yeah. It happens all the time, man. Even like Madden. Like, Madden, I feel, did really, like, actually pretty well this year for, you know, compared to 2018. 2019, I think, did pretty well. Dropped in 2 weeks. I mean, look at like NBA 2K did exceptionally well, best in franchise history, sales wise, second in NPD. That game dropped by $20 already. So it's like,
well, it has to. Well, sports games have to once the season starts, because if you didn't get those initial guys that's thirsty for a season to start, when it releases, because hopefully you release the game before the season starts and don't wait like a fool for when the season starts.
Right.
You get those 2 weeks ahead of time. You get those thirsty guys that can't wait. They want to have their team win so bad. And you get those guys in, and then when the season starts, you drop the price down and try to get those better guys in. You know, the ones who bet on those gaming sites. But yeah, of course EA will lose money there. So yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Match. I mean, I really do want to get 2K this year. I was one of those people that was like, 2K is releasing a little too early for me. Like, I don't know why, but I just, for sports games, I like expect them at a certain time and I need to grab them at that time. But now it's like, why don't I just wait till Black Friday? I know it's going to be on sale. I'm kind of like you, King, on that. But I get the 2K games like every year, and this year's no exception. I am going to grab that. But you know, I was really tempted when that dropped by $20 already. I'm like, shit, this is already coming down. You know, Black Friday may be like $5 cheaper. Who knows? But
you one of those guys with the VC bucks that got like $200 in VC
bucks? No, that's not me, man. That's not me. Oh, I earned that shit.
I got a friend of mine who picks up the game for the normal price and spends like $300 literally same day. Get it out, dude. Every sneaker, I
boosting their character, their my player to like 99 right away and shit. Like,
yeah, like off the top. You know, you hear them complaining about it in chat, and I don't play the game. I completely walked away from that stuff. And once I saw exactly where they were going with it, EA and 2K, they definitely understand how to milk the consumer, and I said I can't be a part of that right there at all.
Yeah, dude, the microtransactions have been running rampant in those sports games, dude. Even Madden for like Ultimate Team and stuff, it's crazy.
Yep.
Anyway, we talked about Games Pass a little more Games Pass news. We got 4 games added to Games Pass for I guess they're saying it's for Halloween, but I mean, I think they were just making an excuse. But they dropped these 4 games. They got Hello Neighbor, Observer, what else? Outlast. I should probably just read it off the slide. Dead Island Riptide. Dead Island Riptide I actually liked a lot. Outlast, obviously excellent. I don't think I've played the other 2 games. I know Hello Neighbor was at PAX. I played a little bit of it there, but I didn't play too much. But I mean, any addition really to Games Pass just makes the value that much better. And if you're a gamer score warrior out there, then you're probably happy to see some of these games in there. But have you guys checked out any of these games? Do you think this is a good addition to Games Pass for this month?
I'm in the position that you are with Last 2, The Observer. I gotta check it out. Outlast, I think, is probably one of the scariest games that you can play with the lights off. And Riptide, the Riptide is fun. Like, as far as a zombie game, that is really, really fun, and it is X enhanced, so that's always a good time.
Yeah, I would.
Hello Neighbor, no, check it yet.
Yeah, Hello Neighbor. I don't think that sold too well, Clowns. I think you were. Were you interested in Hello Neighbor, or am I confusing you with somebody else?
No, that was me. I was excited about it, and then you know, I
the disappointment in his voice.
Like, what the hell is this disaster? You know, because and to be honest with you, I mean, there were some neat concepts about the game. Like, there's like puzzle aspects to it. You got to figure out what to do, whose house to break into to get what objects, and you got to put everything together. And the neighbor gets more and more, I guess, obsessed with chasing you. So I mean, there's some good aspects, but other than that, it was it kind of felt like Neighbor Simulator, like Goat Simulator, you know, in a way. You're like super high jumps, throw objects like in awkward directions.
Yeah, kind of like a niche game, really. Although Goat Simulator was like a cult phenom game for a long time until people realized that game was like straight up trash. It took a while for me.
It was We Happy Few, to be honest with you. Hello Neighbor.
Oh yeah. The graphics kind of similar. The look of it's kind of similar. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think out of these four, if you had to try one out of these four, I would definitely say Outlast if you're looking for like a Halloween kind of spooky kind of thing. But Dead Island Riptide is right behind it. I think that's a game that I think a lot of people missed out on that people should definitely go back and check. And when Dead Island 2 hasn't really, have we heard anything about Dead Island 2 recently? Does that even have a release date? Like,
no,
because it changed developers, I think, right? Because initially it was being developed by Sumo, and then it changed to, or it was initially developed by somebody else, and then Sumo took over, so it kind of like started over in a way. So hopefully we get that soon, because I'm a huge fan of Dead Island games. Actually, I think they're underrated.
Well, hopefully it uses the Unreal 4 engine.
Yes.
Like everything else this generation is using, you know, hopefully. I don't know. My problem was a little bit of the wonky physics on certain things, ragdoll physics, and it seems like Red Dead fixed that with giving everybody a skeletal structure. So hopefully people can license that technology, that engine, those physics engines, with them in their games, because I saw some really good stuff off of that. So that was my only problem with the Dead Island games. It was the physics. That's about it.
Yeah, the physics were definitely very very ragdolly, to say the least. But I think it's 4-player co-op for whoever is asking in the chat for Riptide. I'm pretty sure it was 4. Somebody said, I've owned Outlast for ages, still in my backlog, need to pull my finger. Yeah, dude, you need to play Outlast. Outlast is definitely one of the better indies of this gen. For sure. Outlast 2 is good too.
I got 1 and 2 in my backlog.
There you go.
I'm not buying no more games.
The Geeky Nerd says he needs Games Pass to make a splash like Google did with AC Odyssey. Yeah, I mean, we were talking about that a little bit earlier. I think Games Pass is a little bit away with getting some of the big splashes that aren't their own IPs, that aren't, the Forzas of the world, the Halos, the Gears, but
they've been doing that though. See, that it might not be exactly what you want. They don't have to go down and throw a boatload of cash on top of a developer to get Assassin's Creed Odyssey to launch there, where they're gonna get it anyway. Mentality. That's the mentality that they have with it. But what I would say is a bigger splash would be getting one of those top sports games that you mentioned, Inferno, as far as like the 2K or the Madden in Game Pass, and have it released for the other systems. Don't try to like hoard it. Like Google, they didn't care if the game released anyplace else. They just wanted to show the robustness of the system. Whereas Microsoft will be showing the robustness of their system. They will just be acquiring a game in Game Pass. So I think sports titles will do a whole lot better with getting that initial burst purchase opposed to showing what the system can do, because I think Google needed that splash.
Yeah, Google, because no one even was knowing really what Project Stream was. I mean, that wasn't at the forefront of anybody's minds. And then, to have a game of that magnitude, of that, graphics-wise. I know, Clowns, you had a little bit with Project Stream, and you were really impressed with the graphics and the fidelity of it, right?
Absolutely. I think it felt like I was just playing on my own PC. It didn't even feel like a stream, and it booted up faster than my PC would boot up a game. I mean, it's like almost instant load with these kind of cloud things.
Yeah, and I feel like that's what Google needed to do to like show proof of concept, whereas Microsoft has the cloud power. Like I don't think people doubt the power of like Azure servers and cloud compute and stuff like that on Microsoft's side. Yeah, people make jokes that they've been using cloud compute for drivatars and we're still waiting for cloud compute on Crackdown 3 and all that shit, but people know that Azure in some capacity is powerful. It's really powerful in enterprise, like business wise. I know Azure is like the go-to for cloud stuff. And, so like, I agree with that. I don't think that Microsoft necessarily needs to show the power of it. They just need to get people, they just need the popularity. And so I kind of agree with that take. I think sports games would make a huge splash. I mean, if the new 2K next year, 2K20, 2K20 comes out, if that's what they're calling it, if that comes out and that's in Games Pass in some way, like somehow they're able to negotiate that, that's going to be huge. That's going to be huge. EA stuff, I'm not sure that's going to work out because of EA Access, but like 2K or what is it there? Not FIFA, but the other one. Pro Evo Soccer, like I know a lot of people in the US don't really like Pro Evo, but that is a huge game worldwide, and I think that would totally take off. But yeah, in terms of getting AAA stuff to Games Pass, I think it's coming. I think it's definitely coming, but negotiation has to happen with some of these publishers and developers. They want their piece of the pie, so they want to.
I don't think they're gonna force it this generation.
Mm-hmm.
Because this generation is the testing ground, right? They're gonna probably put it together a package where you have live and you have Game Pass. Games with gold will probably disappear. All right, and go the way of the dinosaur, whereas you take those games of gold and you put it inside Game Pass. So you take away games of gold and you put live and you put Game Pass together and you bundle that together, and that service is there, put live Game Pass, whatever it'll be called. And once you get like the Scarlet system out there and that inside everyone's home, then that's when it changes. That's when they start pushing and going for these deals with these companies or whatever, because they can see the benefit once they're part of the system.
Mm-hmm.
But right now I believe that they're like building it, and then once it's really live and they go on to the next system, then the next system will be where they make their bones at. But right now it's just whatever they can get, they're gonna build from that, I believe.
Yeah, it's gonna be a huge part of people's libraries once the xCloud comes out, or the Project Cloud, or whatever they want. Project xCloud, yeah. Once whatever they call that comes out, and people are looking to build their digital library quickly, that maybe we're stuck on physical for a long time. I think that they're really gonna flex the muscle on Games Pass, but okay, I was gonna talk about bringing some Battlefield 5 stuff, but I really wanted Assassin here for that, so I think we're gonna pass on that for this week and move on to the last topic. We'll talk about that probably next week when Assassin's internet's fixed or somebody needs to buy him a new computer or some shit, because apparently he's working on that Core 2 Duo life or something. I don't know. His laptop's really weak over there, so we gotta get that all sorted out before next week. But last topic, wanted to get to this. I got to get you guys' opinion on this friggin' expensive-ass Sony furniture that they got a pottery barn. I mean, look at this gaudy-ass shit, right? I mean, this table, like this, what do you call it, beanbag cushion, like... Klaus, did you see this? I know I sent this stuff over to King, but did you see this furniture? I mean, they got like a TV unit that's like $1,100. Like, you kidding me with this?
Is that where they show the showroom with like the blue lights in the background, the shelves? Was that part of it? That was part of it.
Yep, that was part of it. Yeah.
I think that's kind of ridiculous. I mean, Sony's kind of tooting their own horn there. We're like, man, we're so damn good. We just might as well be like an IKEA. So just buy this furniture off us. I don't know, man. It's just it would be cool if you made something like that yourself at your house with like those LED lights in the background and stuff, but for a company to sell it directly to you, it's kind of like wow, you guys are pretty conceited, you know?
Dude, their TV unit that they've got that goes under their TV is $1,100. And they get this premium because it has like the triangle, circle, X and square, or cross and square, whatever you want to call it. I call it X like normal people, but it's got that stuff on it, and they're charging $1,100. Like for these little wall cubbies and stuff, they're charging like $70. It's ridiculous. I think the pricing's ridiculous, but King, what do you think? You gonna add this to you?
I think the price thing kind of fits.
No way.
All right. You know why? And I'll show you why. I believe the pricing kind of fits, right? Because can I switch it around? All right. So I have a stand that I paid probably. How much I paid for the stand? I think it was like $900 for the stand, right? So, and this is my little man cave room, right? Mm-hmm. So what they're doing is they're catering to the man cave guy or the bachelor guy who wants to show that he's hip with PlayStation stuff. If you want to play for hipster stuff, you want to play hip, you're gonna pay that hip price. Somebody's gonna buy it. I think it's cool if you're a PlayStation guy and you want your stuff to match, and you like, my furniture matches my system. Now, if the new system comes out and it totally doesn't go with your decor, now I think then, my friend, you have a problem.
Oh yeah,
but you know who this is for? This is for that Sony exec guy or that guy who's making $200K a year and has that disposable income that really doesn't care. And he tells his interior decorator, hey, fix up my game room. Like, what else? He go in there, you like, what? PlayStation furniture? Come on, man, that rocks.
Well, I guess when you put it that way, it kind of makes sense because Assassin is living that kind of lifestyle. You know what I mean? Like he could fit some of this in his room.
I don't know if he's. I don't know if he's shelling out $1,100 for that TV unit or the beanbag chair, which is $250 for a goddamn beanbag chair, man. I mean, jeez, dude.
I'm just saying, you know what? You make something exclusive enough, and from those 5 guys that I had to ban today, I'm pretty sure one of those 5 guys is rabid fandom enough that he's going to purchase some of this stuff to put on his wall, all right, and to put his TV on. If Xbox did it, and it actually went with my stuff, and it actually made sense, I probably would get it. I don't know. I didn't see anything that caught my eye. Like I wouldn't be in a beanbag chair. I have a bad back, so that's not gonna happen. But if they had something that please me, I have way too many games to put in those little cubby hole things. That's like for a casual fan, a guy that wants to be hip kind of guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean those each hold like what? It looks like 7-8 games. Like I'd have to buy like 10 or 12 of those. You know what I mean? It's like you get $70 for a little like acrylic square that has a headphone / controller holder on it. You show off your stuff. I mean, it's kind of wall mounted storage for games. I think that's kind of cool. For headphones, I think that is kind of cool, but not for $70. I mean, that's a little much for me. But if you're asking me, I think the only thing that really catches my eye is that backlit wall thing, that metal plate that has the PlayStation logos on it, the triangle, circle, X, and square. I think that's the only thing I'd be interested in. But it looks like it's massive, dude. It looks like it's massive. Let me see how big that thing is. I didn't even check it out. Oh man, how much is this thing? $200.
It looks like it's the width of a 65-inch television.
Right? Yeah, no kidding. Like the way they put it over that TV, I'm like, holy shit, that's huge. $200. It's only an inch deep. Dimensions and care. Let me see. Yeah, dude, it's actually not as wide as it looks. It's only 3 feet wide. So that's a small ass
Oh.
TV. Whatever they got up there, that's a small TV right now.
Probably 40-inch television.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right in the bushes.
Yeah, if that ran on some like LEDs or something, I think that cord's gonna be ugly. I mean, yeah, you can drill some holes or whatever, hide that cord, but I mean, I think that's probably the only thing I'd be interested in, especially for the money. The table looks kind of big. I don't know. I think it's a little gimmicky, but like you're right. It's hipster stuff, man. You're right. It's all about that hip crowd.
Something you catch in LA. You go to somebody's house in LA and he's like, the biscotti is on the table. You can have some of that. Oh yeah. If you want to play some of the PlayStation is over there in the game room. Beanbag chairs is around. You know, like okay, cool. Get out of here. The guy who plays, he has nothing but all the Call of Duties.
Dude, next time you go to E3 next year, King, and you're getting your Airbnb, you walk into the house, it's gonna be all this shit.
Yo, you know what really blew our mind? I wish you would have came over to the place that we was at. We went downstairs into the game room. They had a ping pong table and all other stuff. These guys had a Dreamcast.
Oh man, that's like, oh man, 5-star rating right there. Say no more.
What? That place? Oh, we played. We played Dead or Alive. And, we had such a good time with that place. And I wish they would have this furniture at that place. Do you understand the type of rating that you would get from gamers? They come in and there's actual game furniture there. Come on,
oh
man.
yeah,
that's great. Yeah, I don't know. I thought when you sent it to me, I was like, I like it.
I think it's cool enough, but like I just know what kind of, for an under TV thing. I know if I'm spending $1,100 on one of those, I know what kind of quality I can get on that thing. Like you get that $900 one. That one looks like it's nice, like slim profile. What is it, like glass, like tempered glass?
Yeah, it's tempered glass. I had that thing Rusted that my boy Rick purchased it. I purchased it off of him because he went and bought another television. But that thing has lasted me almost 9 to 10 years. So,
yeah.
I had it forever. So,
dude, this thing looks like it could be made out of like particle board or some shit. I mean, I didn't look to see what it was made out of, but I mean, I could just imagine. You know what I mean? It's like
I could imagine it's made out of recyclable stuff because
that's hipster as hell, right?
Wants to be, I know, right? They want to be all environmentally friendly. So,
yep, dude, it is. Dude. It's MDF. It's fiberboard, dude. Dude, they try to talk it up like it's fancy wood, like they're like an engineered wood for durability and endure over time. If you've ever had MDF stuff, you know that's absolutely false. So,
it's made out of used PlayStations.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
No. Yeah, no, I'm out on that. I just thought that was a funny way to kind of end the show with that topic because I mean, I just thought it was so ridiculous when I saw this. I mean, I had my thoughts on a few guys that I know that are friends in real life that that would do this kind of thing, and I'm kind of like wanting to hit them up and be like, "Yo, did you see this?" and see if they actually buy some of it. But Clowns, last thought on this before we kind of wrap it up. You think you're gonna invest in any of this kind of stuff?
Nope.
well,
if it falls off the back of a truck, all right.
Hey, forget about it. If it falls on the back of a truck, forget about it. I'll take it then. A 5-finger discount.
There you go. All right, well, that's just over an hour and a half. Nice duration for a podcast here. We're gonna end it here, but King's clapping over there. We're happy to have you on, man. I really appreciate you coming in and taking some time out of your busy lifestyle to come on this program.
I tell you, once you switch that time, because I work nights, so once you switch the time, I'm available in the daytime. I'm always willing and able to help out all the friends of the realm. We are all in this together. So I'm not one of those weirdos that don't want to help. I'm always willing to, because hey, we all love the same thing, right?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, yeah. We really, really appreciate you and Cognito for coming out and filling that fourth chair for us. And we really love the Iron Lords podcast. I've only checked out a little bit of your fighting venture, but I definitely want you to shout that out. I mean, I'm glad you guys you're doing that too, because if you can talk about things that you like, I mean, you can expand that into other things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got a thing. When you looked at it, the gym that I go to, they're going to have a metro coming up, and I have a documentary that I'm filming.
Oh,
and
nice.
The documentary is of 3 fighters that's making their way to the metro. So you're gonna get the before, you're gonna get the during the fight, and you're gonna get the after the fight, win, lose, or draw. The raw emotion of the actual fight of these amateur fighters and what they go through, and what their little story is about. And hopefully something takes off from there from that. But just the life of a fighter that you mostly won't get. So that's Combat Talk with the King. That's what you get on the Iron Lords podcast. Also, I have another show that I'm doing. It's called King of Statues. If you look over here, I'm a statue head. I collect statues from Sideshow.
Nice, man. Nice.
And stuff like that. So I have a ton of statues upstairs that's still in the boxes, and more that's coming. Got a couple of boxes over here that I'm going to be doing unboxings. I'm going to do quick videos, detailed videos, pricing, storage type of things. Oh, Sweaty's back. Assassin, what's up?
I see him. I see him. Can you hear us, Assassin?
Hello?
Oh my God, he's back. Yeah, he's back. The man is back.
Everything on my screen is frozen, so I don't know what's going on.
We're gonna have to fix that computer situation very soon, very, very soon. But yeah, King, cool. I mean, good stuff, man. I mean, Iron Lords is, dude. I mean, I said this last week with Cognito. I met you guys a few years ago back at E3, and instantly started checking out what you guys have been doing, and definitely some of the best personalities on Twitter and on YouTube, because it's not bullshit, man. It's like just straight from the heart, honest, good quality content, and sometimes it's hard to find on YouTube these days. And you guys have, the Cognito is definitely the way he kind of runs the show over there with you guys, and the interaction that you guys have that's really genuine has really shaped the way that we kind of do it over here too. So huge fan of that program. I think everybody should definitely check that out, and I have no problem retweeting all that stuff and sharing, because I just think it's really quality stuff. So I'm dying to check out this statue thing. I'm really intrigued by some unboxing videos done King style. So I know I'll be turning into that.
Such a great time with that, man.
Oh man! All right,
I thought me and Clowns would get together and save Toys R Us, but apparently they was bamboozling the world and they didn't need anything.
I know, King. Maybe we should work on a stock venture in Toys R Us. And do a takeover.
I know, right?
One of those takeovers.
Yeah, right.
Unreal.
King and Clowns.
Yeah.
Change the name of Toys R Us. Just own Jeffrey.
Yes.
Clowns would go for that. Clowns loves Jeffrey, dude. If Toys R Us came back and Jeffrey wasn't part of it, I think Clowns would boycott the shit out of that, right?
I'd be pissed. Yeah, I'd be going in there and be like, put on this damn Jeffrey costume, man.
Dude, maybe they'll hire you. Maybe you can go.
Maybe
you can go.
Assassin is tall enough though. He's like 6'2", right?
He is. He's a monster, dude. Both King and Assassin, I'm beasts of men. So, dude, Clowns, you gotta find a way to meet King, because when you walk up to King, dude, because Clowns, I'm not gonna, let's not sugarcoat it, Clowns. You're on the shorter side, and King is just a big man, right? I mean,
yeah, I'm like Joe Pesci's height.
Yeah, you're like Joe Pesci.
5'6".
And King looks like he could be like in the NFL, man.
Great day.
But yeah, we gotta make that happen. We absolutely have to make that happen sometime.
For sure. We'll be out there this year E3. We were supposed to go to Gamescom. That didn't happen, but next year we'll be at Gamescom.
Awesome.
For sure.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I'd love to go to Gamescom and EGX and stuff over in Europe, you know, just to see how different it is, because I think the vibe is like totally different over there, and just to you know, just to get something different. You know, it's not that I don't like PAX or E3 anymore, but it's like, you know, sometimes it's so similar. You kind of like know what to expect, and I just want to be wowed again. You know what I mean?
Well, just remember,
you lost the wow factor.
Gamescom's gonna be so many people.
Oh yeah, dude.
Probably more than E3 because it's so open.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm sure, but you know, whatever. PAX and E3 have kind of like built us up a little bit for that crowd mentality. So I think we're ready.
4 hours on our feet, cameras in our hands, walking, interviewing. I mean, it's work. People don't understand. Like, they think I'm in LA and I'm having such this wonderful time. Yeah, I'm driving these fancy foreign cars, and yeah, I'm living in this nice big mansion. Yeah, that's great. But most of the time, I'm soaking in the tub.
Oh yeah, dude.
From walking around all damn day.
Oh my god.
Well, you know, if we ever did get to meet up at like E3 or Gamescom, you guys would be like, "Where's Clowns? We don't see him in the crowd. Where is he?"
King would be all the way up here like,
out.
"Oh, where is it? Oh." It's fine, dude.
We would dress the same. We would be twins. We would do the Arnold Schwarzenegger, Joe Pesci things.
Dude, that's
so
fine.
hard.
Dude, Clown's got like a closet full of chains and shit, dude, from back in the day, right, Clowns?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
No, I can't wear half of this stuff over there. LA, I don't really need the extra problems.
Oh, that's true. That is true. Good point. Good point. Anyways, that's about it for this program. We're gonna wrap it up. You know, you can find us anywhere. You just search 4 Guys Recorders. You find us on Spotify, iTunes, all that good stuff. Go ahead and check us out on, of course, we've been streaming a little bit more. So we're going to be streaming some Jackbox Party Pack this weekend. And, of course, some more Blackout and, you know, other Black Ops modes and a bunch of more stuff. So look out for that. But if you haven't already, you know, try to hit that like button below if you liked this video, and definitely subscribe for more content. And we will be back next week with another episode of this podcast. But in the interim, look out for some streams and stuff. Yeah, that about does it. So until next week, we'll see you guys later. Peace.